So what we kind of heard from sources is it's performance review week, and managers are saying or being asked to look at everyone that works or reports into them and decide, I guess, who stays and who goes.
Well, that's the fear. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but what we've heard, I mean, I think you and I have heard from different people, is that performance evaluations happened, and then what I heard was that they were reopened, and there was one new question: is this employee's role critical? And that's like basically you need to and then the managers need to justify that job. So that is definitely worrying. You know, Tesla so far has avoided the layoffs that have rocked Silicon Valley. We don't know whether this is sort of a culling based on performance or whether widespread layoffs are in the offering.
What I would reflect on is that this is kind of normal, both in the sense that Tesla's looking for cost savings everywhere, but it's kind of played out in the past. And I know that I've heard from sources like, for example, when we reported on the autopilot trims last year, that headcount was moved elsewhere to like batteries, for example. What is the aim here from Elon Musk and co, do you think?
Well, I think that, Tesla is still aggressively hiring in a lot of areas. If you look at their website, they have tons of openings for Optimus, for Dojo, for Megapack, for, payment systems. I mean, there's a lot of job openings at Tesla, so they are still aggressively hiring. So this could be an effort to just kind of reduce headcount in some places where they feel like it's no longer necessary so that they can afford to hire elsewhere.
And Anna, like, say, a Goldman Sachs, they're trying to put forward the idea that you'll constantly be reviewed. If you're underperforming, you may well be let go. And I guess this is a way of ascertaining whether you are or not. And I just wonder how it speaks, though, to the fact that we are seeing such pressure on Tesla from an EV demand perspective. Will it automatically be in the manufacturing areas that you think these jobs ultimately have to be sacrificed?
It's hard to say where the cuts, if they happen, would be. I mean, but I think that you're right. Like Tesla regularly, they go through a performance review cycle every 6 months. And, in Silicon Valley, it's called stack ranking or ranking yank, to be coarse about it. And I think that this just really keeps everybody on their toes. You always want to be a high performer. There's always concern if you're needing to justify staff. I think that Tesla has grown dramatically since 2020 during the pandemic. They now have over 140,000 employees globally, and they will continue to hire in the areas of the company that Elon Musk really wants to sort of staff up. But like any company, when you're kind of facing a down year in terms of growth, you start cutting, and salaries is the way to do that.
And Musk talked about the rate environment again when we played our earnings bingo, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I always find that astonishing, 140,000 people. If there's a big bright spot, it's probably the energy business, because what they said was it will just outpace the car business in terms of growth. What else do we know about what's going on with energy?
Yeah, so Tesla has this big factory in Lathrop, which is here in California. It's sort of a little bit outside of the Bay Area in what we call the Central Valley, and that is where they are building the Megapacks. We also have heard that they are expanding Megapack production in Shanghai, and these are the big batteries that Tesla sells to utilities like PG&E, and it is a huge growth driver for the energy business. Like, forget about the solar roof. Megapack is the big driver of the growth there.